Are you ready, Pats fans? Cats at Pats Sunday at the Razor. The Carolina Panthers are 2-17 in their last 19 on the road. The Patriots 3-16 in their last 19 at home. Someone's got to win, I guess. Oh, Fitzy and Mego are a little bit loopy on this particular Friday as we preview Panthers at Patriots, a Super Bowl 38 rematch. It hardly is. Plus, we'll go behind enemy lines with Chris McLean from WFNZ in Charlotte. It's all coming up on the preview edition on Friday of Six Rings and Football Things. Here we go.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. It's all about winning, all right? Winning on three. 1, 2, 3, win!
Celebrating the heroes of Foxborough's past.
And with a good block. Look at Grover. All the way. Watch the block of number 73, John Hanna.
The champions of the dynastic era.
Adam Vinatieri booms a 48-yard field goal, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
The Patriots of tomorrow.
We're going to remove entitlement from our football team. We're going to earn the right to be here every single day.
And the fans whose faith never wavers. This is Six Rings and Football Things.
All right, we all know that they got the six rings, but there are a lot of football things that need attending to in Isle of Rabel down at Gillette Stadium. How are you, everybody? Your old pal Nick Fitzy Stevens here with the legend of Mego, Miss Megan Onalini, for the preview edition of Six Rings and Football Things with the Carolina Panthers coming to town to play your Patriots this Sunday as well. Mego, just real quick, since we didn't have a chance to catch up with you, I've read your columns and followed you on the socials, but just for the audience at large, just quickly describe your personal frustrations in covering and being intimately involved with the day-to-day operations of this team. How frustrating was last Sunday for you? Like, I know you're not a Patriots fan, like our audience is, but at the same time, like, you still like watching good football. Like,
yes.
Is there
at some point,
more-
Fitzy, it's like, how much bad football must we endure? How much bad football must we endure? And it got to a point where you're just laughing in the press box, or I'm laughing in the press box. You're probably crying at home, but I'm laughing in the press box because I'm going, I can't believe that they have 5 turnovers against this Steelers team that I thought stunk. I thought they stunk. I mean, to me, that was just the biggest missed opportunity that we've seen in a while for any iteration of the Patriots, because they should have won that game. And they had opportunities to win it over and over. And it was just, it's a cliche, but it was the epitome of shooting themselves in the foot. They did it in the red zone. They did it in the end zone in front of the Foxborough militia, whatever those musket guys are called.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I think these days they just go by those musket guys.
Yeah, those musket guys. It was so frustrating to watch. It was so frustrating, but we turned the page. I think they have another big opportunity for a win and to get into a nice stretch of the season. If they're going to do anything and show us any progress this season, it really starts with this game on Sunday.
Like, I know it is such a tired cliche in sports, let alone football, but if Sunday does not represent the ultimate in get right games for your football franchise, then you're just so far ashore from where you should be. It's a damn shame. That the Patriots could, this is what's so fascinating about this polarizing and yet vexing team. They could easily be 3-0 because it's not like the Raiders took them to the woodshed. The Pats made plenty of mistakes week 1, and then they win week 2, but at the same time could have easily lost that game. And then last week's game, if I told you the Patriots won by 17 or that the Patriots lost by 10, neither result should have come as a surprise, given the fact that they had in them the ability to score 31 plus, yet at the same time, like you said, shot themselves in one foot, then looked over and said, oh, look, there's another foot, and then shot themselves in that.
That was a bad Pittsburgh team.
Yes.
That was a bad team. And I don't think that this is a bad football team. I think they're kind of dumb sometimes.
Yes.
and in unfortunate times of the game. And it's early in the season, so I continue to give them the benefit of the doubt and give Mike Vrabel the benefit of the doubt. But I maintain I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're dumb sometimes, and they need to grow out of that quickly. That Steelers team was a bad team, and I think that's the difference. You got beat by a bad team.
So how does a football team gain intelligence in season like this? Like, I guess it's been so long since we've seen a team that looks like they should be good. I'm not saying great or like even playoff worthy, but they should be a good team. How do they clean these mistakes up? I guess it might start with let's let's look at one area where they can clean things up. Ramondre Stevenson can and likely should be benched this week. I'm not sure if he's going to see any meaningful touches at all, but the other day at practice, Travion Henderson was repping as RB1 with Gibson behind him, and then Ramondre third in the reps. How and why, whether it's small hands, sweaty hands, a lack of focus, whatever it is that leads to Ramondre having his well-diagnosed case of fumbleitis, you just can't keep putting the ball on the carpet like that. Like five turnovers plus a turnover on down. So really 6 turnovers in a game is just so far beyond inexcusable. How do we feel about Travion Henderson, who has been a little less than advertised thus far? Some pass pro problems, a lot of the same runs to the left and then wheel route to the right. Maybe they get creative with him. How do you feel about maybe Travion getting the start at running back? Will that be one of the things that could help the team?
I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's a message that they send early in the game and having Travion look like the number 1 back. But I still think you mentioned the pass protection issues. With that, you're trading one potential issue with Ramondre fumbles to another potential issue with the pass protection. Now, I think it's notable that you're seeing a Panthers team that I believe is 30th in the league when it comes to pressure rate on the quarterback, and I think they're 22nd in sacks. That's just through 3 games, but it's still notable that you're not going to be having a front 7 or defense that's completely breathing down your quarterback's neck and, causing a lot of the problems that you've seen in previous games. I still maintain I think we're going to still see Ramondre Stevenson. I do. I think if you listen to Mike Vrabel talk this week and having the sentiments that he said about it's not just about the ball carrier. We got to protect the ball carrier, making it more of a team issue rather than a singular guy issue. And then having that echoed by Josh McDaniels yesterday. I think that's telling you that even though this is something that we clearly know is not a bug, but a feature in a bad way of Ramondre Stevenson, this is who he is.
Right.
Like he fumbles the ball. This is the trade-off that you have to make that you're making when you put him on the field. It's who he's been his entire career.
And yet they keep running him out there. Like there's plenty of running backs out there.
Because they gotta feel like the upside is still that he's one of the bigger talents on the team and that Travion Henderson is not game speed ready for the NFL in pass protection or to have the same explosive plays that Ramondre is capable of. That maybe not seeing the game as quickly at that NFL level as Ramondre does. And it's a matter of how much are you willing to trade when you have serious issues with a player.
Yeah. I mean, you go from this is the bipolarizing nature of this football team that has talent but also lacks maturity. You win a game week 2 because of Ramondre, and then you lose a game week 3 because of Ramondre. So yes, I see how integral he is to the game plan, but also if you're not going to be part of the solution, but rather going to be one of the main sources of problems, then you're going to have to take a seat or you're going to have to hit the road.
But I think they still believe he's part of the solution is what I'm saying. I would be
more like
more
the final
surprised.
solution.
Now look, Gonzalez, I was so mad at myself last Saturday because I came on this podcast and said, I really thought that Gonzalez was going to play last week. I'm still surprised that he didn't. I think we'll see him on Sunday.
I know. And then I went to air on Friday. I was like, I just did the pod with Mego and she said he's going to play.
Okay. We're all wrong sometimes. I really thought he was going to play. But I'll still say I'll be surprised if they don't give meaningful snaps to Ramondre Stevenson. Okay. Maybe this will be like Alex Austin, like Christian Ellis getting rotated out mid-game. Like this is where Mike Vrabel's going to send the message and he's going to have accountability for a player. I just still feel like they're they still value Ramondre that much. And I don't agree with it. Like, I think that they've overvalued him in that building for years.
Agreed.
Great guy, super accountable for himself. Like, talked to us in the locker room after that game, right after, and was
Oh, he
totally
was a
accountable.
stand-up man about it. Like the
He's
fact that
such a
he said,
pro,
yeah, 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 yeah.
but it's such a problem for him.
Yeah, well, can't spell problem without pro. Let's also go like we know like so. Let's not even make a big deal of it. So your big thing is Ramondre probably will see some snaps Sunday. Got it. Okay, how about so Gonzo? Jordan Schultz has confirmed it. Vrabel said the plan. He held him out last week. Probably could have played. Now he definitely wants to ramp him up and get him playing. Gonzo has said he hates not playing. He's excited, so he's going to play Sunday. I think we can all agree. Like that's a universal accepted truth. However, how much do we think he's going to play Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know. I've talked to like a couple people about this, and just the idea of, can you put a corner like that on a pitch count?
Mhm.
And if he's good to go, do you just put him out there like any other day? Like any other corner. I'm not sure. Like, we are now at the point where it's been beyond 8 weeks, Fitzy. Like
Mhm.
that is really the upper end of what you expect these injuries to be. People say a hamstring that takes 2 months. That could take him out for 2 months. It's been 2 months. Like
Literally.
so I would understand if they put him on a pitch count, but I'd also understand if they don't. If they're like, he's healthy, he's going to be out there, and they certainly need him. I mean, I think that Carlton Davis, I think he's been a little better than some people have graded him out to be.
He's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
He's okay, but
The
you don't
defense isn't
want
the
Ted
problem
having
thus far,
another
Mego.
big breakout game.
No, you don't. And he's a little banged up coming into this week. And when we're joined in a few minutes by Chris McLean from WFNZ in Charlotte, we'll get the latest on the health of Ted McMillan and what's going on with the Panthers offense and what kind of problems they may present for both themselves, a la Patriots style, as well as the Patriots defense, which again has been about as advertised by and large, considering that
Well,
they've been
last week
without.
they were.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they were without their. Yeah, they're getting better for sure. They're showing signs, just like Drake is as well. And they're not the reason why they're losing a lot of these games. Now, two other things I wanted to get to before Chris joins us. One, yesterday on the afternoon show on WEEI, we chatted with your old pal Tom Curran, and I asked Curran how he felt about the Mike Vrabel administration thus far or to date, and he said, "I think he needs to be meaner." Like so, and he hasn't had a padded practice in almost as long since Gonzo hurt his hamstring.
He would argue that with you. He has a different
Interesting.
definition of padded. So that's
Okay.
we're talking like
Right. Yeah. We're parsing out little.
exactly
Yeah.
ticky tack.
As my dad used to always say, yeah, you guys are picking pepper out of fly crap. But do you think that's the case? Does Vrabel need to show some tougher love to these guys?
He's in a tough spot because I don't want to like let him off the hook, but there are some issues like Ramondre's fumbling that he's inherited. And I think he's still in a position where we're in week 4 now. He needs to continue to balance the empowering these guys, finding the talent on the team, elevating that, building the leadership, making sure that his message is getting through with the side of accountability. And I think, as I said before, having Alex Austin and Christian Ellis, guys who were really struggling in week 3 in that game, having them rotated out, like that to me was the first real sign of accountability that we've seen. Does he need to be like more of a hard ass? I don't know who he is behind the scenes in terms of ripping guys during film. If they're
Yeah.
watching game tape and he's ripping guys and dressing down guys the way that we heard that Bill Belichick used to, maybe that's the case. It doesn't seem that way. And I understand what Tom's saying. Like, I think it's surprising that he seems to be so friendly and I wouldn't say okay with, but even sitting up there and talking to us in the media, like not putting it on Ramondre, not putting on Drake, saying like we can't have these turnovers, saying this is like an entire team problem, and a lot of it is about protecting that guy and being the next guy up and blah 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 blah. I think that
Yeah.
has been a surprise.
He's actually, he's being a good parent in that regard, which is very interesting. I don't think it's purposefully anti-Belichickian, but he's doing it in his own style. I think people expected
think
more
he's
hard ass
trying to be-
vibes because of who he is.
I think he's trying to be fair overall. I think he's trying to
There's
just
fair
be
work in New England and/or football.
well, I think
Go
that's
on
his
with this novel concept, Miss Ottolini.
his big thing with his players, if you talk to them, is that it's like all about transparency. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going to
Mhm,
tell you what you're doing wrong. I'm going to
mhm.
tell you what I need to see from you. And if you're not executing that, then you're going to lose the job.
Right.
And I just think it's early in the season. And let us not forget, we know who Ramondre is from years past of all these fumbles, but he had been so clean through 2 weeks. Like he was
And
doing
then,
all
but
the
when it,
right things.
I mean, we took him
And then
out.
it
Like,
imploded.
yeah, he didn't get rip roaring drunk and start a fight or throw up on himself. And the next thing you know, we all ended up in jail. So
So like
I
that's
know.
so I understand what you're saying. I think the first and foremost thing is that he's going to try to be fair and he's going to be straightforward with his players. I think the accountability will come. If we're still having these
Well,
conversations in week 12, then it's like, wait,
right.
who did you hire?
Yeah.
But I
Well,
don't think we're there yet.
yeah, obviously, and a win on Sunday would be good. They could end the month, as I like to say, old Chuck Woolery style, 2-2, which would be great. And then you got Buffalo and the rivalry uniforms next Sunday night. Some winnable
I've got a
games.
bigger problem with Pop, by the way, like
Yeah,
in terms
I,
of
and I
the
wanted to,
situational
yeah,
stuff.
and I wanted to bring up the situational stuff and the slot machine, or the slot roll, actually, in a piece that's at weei.com right now. Miss Ottolini posits that perhaps Pop Douglas, Demario Douglas, and his lack of situational awareness, which he should be displaying on the regular if he wants to be a go-to trusted target for Drake in year 3, maybe should take a seat or slide on over and let somebody else take to the slot. Mego, who would that be?
So, and I should say, I don't have a problem. Like I adore Pop. He's a wonderful person
Hmm.
in the locker room. But that 4th-and-1 play, like to that's right up there to me with the fumbles of just not knowing where you are and where you got to be on the field. And it's one thing if he's a rookie, but at this point, we've seen him have a couple of these mental hiccups, these goofs year after year. And sometimes not being on the same page as the quarterback year after year.
Yeah.
And so I think you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If I know everybody's going Efton Chisholm, put Efton Chisholm up
Yes.
there.
Get me
Give
the
Efton
living
Chisholm
legend.
a minute, dude.
I
Like
need the chiseler. Come on. Give me the chiz.
let him have a couple weeks on scout team.
I
Let
know,
him
but he's
be
like,
it's fine. Like he needs to take his time. If they feel like behind the scenes he's ready, then they can throw him out there. I
right.
think he has a bright future. To me, the obvious answer is you need to, first of all, up the snaps that Stephon
Yeah.
Diggs is getting because it's
Yeah.
only about 50% right now.
I
And
really
second of
want to
all,
read more about Diggs having success on the field than I do any baby mama dramas.
no, I don't I don't
Nudes.
want
I
I'm
don't
not
need,
getting
and
into
I
any
need
of that.
no TMZ. I need NFL for Steph Diggs. Yes.
So you really need to up Steph's, in my opinion, Steph's reps in the slot.
Yep.
He's gotten like 48
Mhm.
plays in the slot so far through 3 games, and Demario Douglas Pop has gotten 69, which is in a way, like that's just pretty much one of predominantly only place that Pop
Mhm.
lines up. So when you have him on the field, that's where you're going to put him. I just think if you're trying to activate Diggs and you're trying to get him out there more, you see how situationally intelligent he is. I
Yeah.
mean, he had 2 first downs out of the 3 catches that he had, and he only had those 3 targets. He's got to be getting the ball more. Drake has talked about that. I think you need to find a way to get him out on the field more. And he says he's healthy. He says he's healthy. Put him out
Mhm.
there.
Well, perhaps they will put him out there this Sunday against a team that can defend the pass pretty well, has some leaky run defense. Obviously, they kind of like the Patriots aren't what they used to be. A Super Bowl 38 rematch. This is not, but at the same time, like I said earlier on his radio airwaves down in Charlotte to our friend at what does he go by again? What do you go by? At Mac WFNZ. Chris McClain joins us all the way from down in Charlotte. What's up, buddy?
What's up, y'all? What's going on? I don't know, Nick, if you got the memo, but after last week's shutout, we are the new 85 Bears here in Carolina. I'd like y'all to show some respect for this defense. All right?
All right. First of all, the fact anyone who's watching right now as we broadcast live on the Fitzy GFY and WEEI socials, the fact that you are swagged out in your Carolina Panthers blazer
That's right, baby.
and your Sunday finest is just absolutely glorious. And you know what? It's this kind of regalia that a 1-2 team needs to take when they take on another 1-2 team, with both of us absolutely scuffling like one-legged men on roller skates. Like, it is just,
I
man,
would like y'all to be very afraid. We got these jackets a week ago, and we are 1-0. We are unbeaten when we wear these jackets on Friday. So y'all should be a little leery, you know?
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Chris. I want
Okay.
to ask you, what was your guy Dave Canales trying to say when he said Mike Vrabel's Patriots, their offense don't do very much, but they do it clean and well? Because I'm not sure either of those things are true, where they do try to do a lot and they don't do it cleanly. They had 5 turnovers last week.
Clean is the last thing the last descriptive anybody would use to describe the Patriots, unless you're talking about the people in the parking lot, Chris, whose beer fridges and buffalo chicken dip containers were clean because people ate and drank their feelings after that absolute burning turd of a game.
Hilarious. Dave Canales is the nicest guy in the world. I'm convinced he's the nicest human being alive. He can find the positive in everybody. He does it on a daily basis. Somehow he does it with this team when things are bad. So clearly he was trying to say something nice is definitely what was happening.
Well, I appreciate that out of him. So you guys are now, this is year 2 of the Canales experiment?
Yeah.
Since it came. Where are Panthers fans with, like, you know, because we're in a lot of ways, I won't call this a full Spider-Man meme game, but at the same time, you know, we've got a coach coming around, obviously very familiar with the offensive coordinator, but the primary goal is to try to see what they have in Drake and try to turn him into an upper echelon or top tier quarterback by the end of the season, and hopefully in process make sure that the team is back on track. Not in the glory days, but at least like a good winning football team, not trying to beat themselves every week. For you guys, it seems like a similar turnaround. I think Canales is a great coordinator. Does he have what it takes to basically turn the whole team around? And where are you guys with Bryce Young right now?
I'll say this, going into the season, like after the way that they finished last year, and y'all got to bear with us here, a 4-5 finish with Bryce Young playing the way he did down the stretch. Like I was trying to set up a parade in downtown Charlotte. All right. We were feeling it. We thought Canales, the benching was a perfect move. In hindsight, we thought he was working his magic like he worked with Baker Mayfield in Tampa and Geno Smith in Seattle. And we really felt good. Those first 2 games where the Panthers turned the ball over 5 times in the first 5 quarters of football, shot themselves in the foot repeatedly and started 0-2. That shook us a little bit. So now last week was a nice little kind of confidence builder. Hey, maybe this is going on the right path. So we're going to see. These next few games are really important. Panthers have, obviously, you guys. After that, it's home games against Miami and Dallas, and then it's a road game against the Jets. This is definitely not the world beaters of the NFL. So I think we're really trying to watch Bryce and Coach Canales in this stretch. Like, if things are really coming along, let's win a few of these games, right? You know what I mean? Let's not go 1-3 in this stretch or 0-4, God forbid. So I think this is a big stretch for this team going into the season, though. I think we kind of thought both guys were coming into their own.
Chris, how much trouble should the Patriots offense expect from this secondary? Because it looks like you got a couple of ball hawks out there.
Oh,
and if there's one thing about Drake, you know him as a Carolina guy, he likes to target those guys, unfortunately, from time to time from the other team.
Yeah, that feels like an advantage. I'm certainly not going to come on here and tell you like we've got advantages in every dang part of this matchup. Both teams have their flaws. There's no doubt about it. But the corners have played great this year. Panthers have given up less yards than any team in the NFL to wide receivers. I also look at your wide receivers and feel like there's an advantage there. I don't think it's not saying the Panthers outside of T-Mac have the greatest group of wide receivers, but I think it's a wide receiver group that J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson and Shao Smith-Wade can probably win the matchup with. I'll say this, though. Hunter Henry is a bit scary because he's a heck of a tight end. Panthers have given up the most yards to tight ends. So the linebackers have not covered a tight end hardly at all. But, yeah, those corners have been balling.
Until
no
an
doubt
Austin
about it.
Hooper breakout game?
Excuse me 1 second. Just opens up my phone, bets the Hunter Henry prop on FanDuel. Thank you, Chris. Checks in the mail, baby. Give me that Venmo before the end of the show. All right, so you guys give up passing yards at tight ends. Hunter Henry, as Mego can attest, has been a consummate pro this season as well. You guys do have some good cornerbacks as well. JC, like we were talking about on your radio show a little while ago, JC Horn, Surtain, now Gonzo coming back. This next wave of, like sensitive, sometimes delicate, off injury prone, but supremely talented cornerbacks. I wouldn't be surprised if that presents an issue. And it's not like the Patriots wide receiver room is, would you say, Mego, like we have a lot of solid 2s and 3s. The number one option.
We've been saying that for years and years. I think we got a lot of guys who are still trying to even just define what their roles are within the depth chart.
Right. Yeah. So you're right. Like I've been wanting the Patriots to start the season with a strong running game to give Drake more time to understand the calculus of the Josh McDaniels offense, get the run game going, and then let the play action passing and maybe even the occasional downfield shot, my kingdom, for a freaking throw over 30 yards with this team. Then let that develop, and then we'll see what happens. But instead, it's been the opposite. The Patriots can't get the ground game going for love, sex, or money. Our leading rusher on the season, Drake May, with 87 yards.
That ain't ideal. That is not. No. And I think that matchup is the real key there. Whether or not the Panthers run defense plays well. The Panthers run defense last year was the worst in the history of the league. I'm not even making that up. Matter of fact, they were the worst in the history of the league in multiple categories. It was that bad. The run defense has showed some life after the first half in Jacksonville, which was horrendous. They have shown some real life. Did a good job. I mean, Robinson averaged 5 yards a carry, but they did a good job of not allowing the big runs. They played really good run defense against Arizona. So if they can play good run defense and get Drake to where, hey, he's in 2nd and 9, he's in 3rd and 8, then those cover guys can do work. And I think then there might be mistakes from Drake May. If y'all can find a way to run the football, I think that's the key matchup on that side of the ball. No doubt about it.
Are Panthers fans afraid of Drake May? No. Are they afraid of Drake May when you look at this? Or
yeah, he's your guy too.
Do they feel like he's still raw enough that you can say, okay, we can take advantage of some of this guy's hiccups?
First of all, a lot of us love him. He's a Charlotte kid. He's from this town. Tar Heel fans really love him because he's not only from this town, but he's their guy.
Fear him?
No, I would not say fear.
Like your dad growing up. You loved him, but did you fear him? says a lot about a man, Chris.
I would not say fear. Like, I still put him in the potential category, right? Like, there's no doubt he has the potential. And when all the, like, the Merrill Hodges of the world and all these guys pre-draft were like bashing him, I thought it was ridiculous. I mean, from the second I saw him starting at Carolina, I saw an NFL quarterback. I mean, the size, the arm strength, the mobility that y'all talk about, the ability to make plays off schedule.
Yeah.
I love Drake May long term. I just think right now, you guys see it, he's a work in progress. The supporting cast around him is a work in progress. So I don't think we fear him. As you were saying, Nick, it definitely appears, looking at the metrics, like he's not throwing downfield. It's a lot of short passing game stuff. Whereas if the Panthers tackle like they did last week on the short passes, I think I feel good about that. So, yeah, Meg, to answer your question, like, I think he's really going to be good. But right now, I don't know. Like, maybe fear down the road, maybe is the way I would put it.
Yeah. Like Drake May, he'll make an amazing throw. He'll do something off platform like week 2 to the long pass to Ramondre Stevenson when Ramondre was part of the solution, not the problem. But then he'll get a dirty pocket. He'll try to move around and make too much happen, as opposed to like Brady used to. One of the things he was just always so good at was, a chuck and duck, dirting the ball and living to play another day. I think Drake needs to do a little bit more of that as well. Like that pass in the end zone that was intercepted last week at the end of the first half, he just doesn't put enough air underneath it. So he'll make 5 incredible plays when you're just like, this kid is it. This kid is the future. We finally got our guy. And then one of those things happens, and you're just like, "God dang, son of a bitch. I can't believe he did it again." But that's what you're going to have to sign up for with the Drake May experience. Dude's in his 4th offensive coordinator in 4 years. And this is probably the most complicated one. And like Mego said, like, we're still trying to sort out who are his guys. Will Travion Henderson become the guy this week as well at running back? Is someone going to emerge as his go-to target on 3rd down, not named Hunter Henry? So, we got a million questions we're dealing with. So aside from Ted McMillan and Chuba Hubbard, is there anyone else this week on the Carolina offense that like Pats fans need to either be aware of or who by the fourth quarter we might be like, who the frig is this guy and why has he been a thorn in our side? Like Trey Tucker was week 1 against Vegas. Like that guy was open every other play. Who are those guys for you?
We are begging people other than T-Mac in the passing game to make plays. I think Hunter Renfro's a guy that could make some plays, especially on third downs. He had a pretty good game 2 weeks ago in Arizona when the Panthers rallied from 24 down, but came up short. The problem is they got all kind of issues in the receiving core. Xavier his performance has been an issue, but now he's got a hamstring injury and he's out. Jalen Coker is a guy that is a good young receiver. Really love him. And he's out right now. They traded Adam Thielen. I know Adam Thielen wanted to go home desperately, but if I was Dan Morgan, I would have said, heck no, because of things like this right now. Jatavian Sanders, our best pass-catching tight end, is out. So it's going to be guys like Renfro, young guy, and Bryson Tremaine is showing a little bit right now, but by no means would I say you need to be terrified. David Moore is just kind of a solid vet. I mean, that's the thing. If Gonzalez comes back and makes life hell for T-Mac, the passing game could be in trouble for the Panthers. There's no doubt about that.
Interesting. I will say, I want to go back to something that we started the conversation with that Fitzy asked you, which is, how sold, as we compared with Drake, how sold is your fan base on Bryce Young?
It's a great question, and it's so polarizing. I mean, you pull up our text line during any Bryce Young conversation, and I mean, I still think it's more positive than negative, but the ones that are negative are convinced this little tiny dude will never play quarterback worth a crap in the NFL. And so it's still very split on that. I thought the 10-game stretch he played last year after getting benched, like I will fully admit his rookie year was a mess, but the surroundings around him were a mess. I don't think you can judge him on that. But when he came back last year at the start of the season and looked worse, looked terrified in the pocket, I really thought at this point, man, that we might have one of the biggest busts on our hands ever, especially considering what we gave up in trade form for him. But, man, whatever the benching did, he really looked the part last year. And he started to look like what we call Bama Bryce, like the guy we all watched at Alabama, poised under pressure, extending the play and making plays with his arms, making plays with his legs, getting the ball out quick from the pocket. Like, I really was sold after last season. It hasn't been the greatest start to the season for him. The turnovers have been the biggest problem. He had 4. I mentioned this team had 5 turnovers in the first 5 quarters. He had 4 of them. So, and I know Drake's, been a little sloppy with the ball too. So that's a key. He's got to protect the football. But when he's at his best, I mean, really good processor, anticipatory thrower, and improvising off schedule plays when he's at his best, but it has not been the best start to the season for him. So therefore we're split, and it's a giant fight among Panther fans every time he comes up. It's so polarizing.
Well, for a smaller guy, how do you feel like his pocket presence has developed? Because I think for us over covering the Patriots, we go, well, if there's one leg up that the Patriots might have in this matchup is Milton Williams, Harold Landry, what they've been able to do in terms of generating sacks and putting that pressure on the quarterback. And we know that Bryce is a guy who can throw on the run. But how are you feeling about his security there?
Yeah, Panthers are missing 2 starting linemen up front. Rob Hunt at right guard, who's just an animal in the run game specifically. He's a mauler. And then Austin Corbett, the center. So right there in the middle where Milton Williams is roaming. And the Panthers know all about Milton Williams because they were throwing a ton of money at him on free agency opening day.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you for that. That was,
we thought we had him.
I thought you guys had him. I thought
Everyone
you guys
thought
had
him.
This is like somebody pulling the robbery when you get digits at the bar and you think you met a young lady, and next thing it's like, oh my God, who's she leaving with? So that one hurt us. If he ends up going against Chandler Zavala, 3rd-year right guard, I know he plays normally, I think, on the other side, but he will play. They could slide him to that side and probably do some work. So that's something I'm definitely concerned about. Landry will be over on the side of our right tackle, Taylor Moton, who is the best pass blocker we have on the outside. So that's a matchup that should be a formidable one. And I think the run game is one that, like, the Panthers want to be a run-first team. They've gotten off to a slow start running the football. Last week was the best it's been. The Patriots, it seems like it's just a tremendous start with the run defense. So if the Panthers can't get the run game going on early downs and it's 3rd and 8, Milton Williams is a bit terrifying, definitely.
Yeah. By the way, I'll see you your Chandler Zavola or whoever that right guard is, and I'll raise you a Ben Brown, who's going to likely sub in next to Will Campbell this week as well.
He is a delightful young man.
It doesn't matter if he's. I don't care if he would be lovely to have over for tapas or a charcuterie board. I need him to be a badass on the football field and keep the Drake clean. Now, on that last little note, so Will Campbell, Sling Blade the tackle. He's going to be over there this week, and I think he's going up against Nick Scorton, who he had some matchups with in college as well. How's that? How's that Carolina pass rush going to work out for us?
Oh, yeah. Scorton was talking about him this week. You know, he's got all the respect in the world for him after their battle last season.
Yeah.
The Panthers, man, you're sensing a theme here. We've got injuries at key spots. The Panthers both starting the veterans. The veteran edges are both probably going to end up being questionable. Pat Jones hasn't practiced this week. DJ Wanham. And if those guys can't
go. Did your team get in a bus accident? Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt. Did your team get in a bus accident or something?
I don't know what the hell.
Did their chute not open? Holy smokes. Everybody's questionable.
This is this damn.
Like the Patriots might be catching them at a good time.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I feel somewhat positive from a Panther standpoint, but as I talk to you guys about the injuries, I'm worrying myself more now. Yeah, it's that this is the Panther stuff we deal with. And if you think the Panthers have injuries, you don't even want to talk about the Hornets. My God, seriously, a guy can hurt himself getting out of bed in the morning on that team. But anyway, I digress.
Nobody wants to talk about the Hornets.
Yeah,
no, not even in Charlotte. Not even in Charlotte. So anyway, yeah, the veteran edges being hurt. If they're both out, then it's not only Nick Scorton, it's Princely Uma and Mielen, another rookie. There's a lot going to be put on the plate of those rookies. So I know that Drake May has been sacked a ton, but the Panthers
12 times thus far.
Panthers have 1 sack all season. And it's by a rookie in Princely. So that is something where something's got to give in that matchup. Like, it's one where if Pat Jones and Wanham were playing, I'd feel like maybe the pass rush can get going this week, but those guys are a doubt this week.
Yeah, this should definitely be a bit of a pivot game or a get-right game. And like I was telling Mego, the Patriots, despite the fact that they kind of shot themselves in the foot in prior games, could easily be 2-1, 3-0. Yeah, I guess you could say they could be 0-3 too. It is what it is. They're 1-2. Win Sunday, you get the Chuck Woolery 2-2, and then you get to move on into an October that has a couple winnable games as well. All right, let's get you out of here, Chris. You've been very generous with your time. It's been fun talking home and away on your radio station and on the pod today. What do you got for a prediction? Give me a score there, fella.
All right, I'll give you a score in a second. I just want to say this, Meg. You must have a good influence on Nick because Nick came on our show in the morning, and my God, he was out of control. I'm telling you right now, he was just zingers right and left. The man was towing the line of what was appropriate, what was appropriate. So I'm talking to this version of Nick, and I think, Meg, you are a good influence on him.
I want this other version.
Yeah, no, this is definitely like have dinner and watch Netflix, Nick, versus just like go out and just buy Jaeger bombs for everybody.
Okay.
That's part of the fun of calling it. Hey, no one up in New England's gonna. Yeah, that's fine. I can just show up on your stage. Well, I mean, and a lot of that material also has been, doled out over time on the podcast. But no.
Oh, okay. You must have broke all the ammo out. You must have emptied out the chamber in one spot.
1,010%. But I'll tell you what. If the Patriots lose to the Panthers Sunday, I want Robert Kraft to sell the other 92% of the friggin' team.
I realize it's a blow emotionally to anybody that loses to the Panthers. We have noticed a trend. Anybody that the Panthers beat these last couple seasons fire someone. Last week, Atlanta fired their wide receivers coach. So you guys will probably fire somebody if the Panthers win. I think the Panthers can win this game. I picked the Panthers 23-20 on the show this week. But I have to be honest with you. If the Panthers came out, I think they're going to force some turnovers. But if the Panthers came out and were the ones turning the ball over and we lost this, it would not shock me at all either.
Holy smokes. Mego, can I just say right now, if the final score Sunday is Panthers 23, Patriots 20, And we thought 2017 Cam Newton coming in and beating the Patriots, last second kick. I forget who your kicker was way back then. If they win, Route 1 burns and Gillette follows with it. Like, that's honest.
Keep in mind, I'm a homer. Look at the jacket I'm wearing. Keep in mind, I'm a giant
God
homer. So that might
look at me. My room is an altar to Darth Vader and Tom Brady, who were kind of the same person, depending on if you were a Jets fan or not for 20 years. So the hell do I know?
Also, I wanted to let everybody know in New England, y'all's like granddad is like wandering around with a young girl in Chapel Hill here, and I'd like to return him to his home.
He's your problem now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no.
Lego's right. He's your freaking problem. No, I know. We tried so many times, like, Mr. Belichick, blink twice if you need some help. Are you in the house, sir? Can we? No, it's fine. He's wild, and you know what? When Dabo leaves the burnt shadow of Bill Belichick and UNC on the field Saturday, he won't serve any humble pie. He'll just keep on wilding. All right, Mego, what do you got for a score?
So I'm actually going to up mine a little bit more from where it was when we talked before the pod, Fitzy. I'm going to say Patriots 30.
Yep.
And then I'm going to give your Panthers 17. And I'm giving them 17 because I do think one of these is going to be a pick six from Drake May. I do think Drake May is due for a pick six. And I think your secondary will be able to rip that off from him. But at the same time, I think he proves himself to be the eraser that we all hope him to be and is able to have a big day against a little bit of lower pressure than he's seen in the pocket.
Meg, you're disrespecting the southern version of the 85 Bears, this defense, all right? Disrespect.
Oh, wow. Hold on one second. Let me get my good readers on. Hey, is that the 2000 Ravens or the 2025 Panthers?
They sound about as healthy as the 85 Bears right now. So.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Football busting with Mego and Chris MC. I love it. All right. I think it's going to be a much closer game. I have Patriots 100, Panthers -13.
Unbelievable. That's the version we got. That's the version of Nick that we got here.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I got 31-17. I think the Panthers get an early touchdown, make the Foxborough faithful sweat a little bit. Drake and Henderson get the offense rolling. Yes, it's going to be tough. Not to say that the Pats wide receivers are world beaters against Foxborough High or even the Boston College corners. You guys have excellent coverage that way. I think this is one of those games where Josh looks for the little pockets and availabilities. You will not see them turn the ball over because if that has not been a point of emphasis all week long, then, everybody should be refreshing their LinkedIn page by 5 o'clock
They're
Sunday.
gonna turn the ball over.
No, I can't handle it, Mego. I refuse. I cannot. Oh, wow, man.
That's hilarious. All right, we will see. I've written these scores down. They will be on the bulletin board over there at the stadium down the street in a few minutes.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds
Disrespect.
Hey, by the way, some of the folks in the chat that are watching live on Facebook and YouTube say they love the community basement where you have free donuts and people talking about their problems as a background at the radio station.
Is that like a pancake breakfast?
I'm literally in the basement. This is like the only place that my loud mouth can come and scream and not be told to shut up. This and the studio are the two places.
Please allow for a game on Sunday, everybody, that has the same kind of energy you allowed me to share on your station this morning and that you have brought as well to the podcast today. Folks, give them a follow. If you're ever in the Charlotte area or you got some relatives like I do down in the 704, I believe, give him a follow at MacWFNZ. He is a co-host of the morning show on WFNZ. Thanks and shout out to our old guy, the Rickard, for giving us the recommendation and bringing you aboard the pod. You can read Mego at Megan_Ottolini and at WEI.com and here on the weekends and see her every week here on Six Rings. And you know where I am in my den of inequity at the bottom of a pint glass or likely in a brewery. Your old pal, Nick Fitzy Stevens at FitzyGFY. Chris, thanks so much. This has been a blast, man. Enjoy your weekend, and let's hope for a good game on Sunday, brother.
Thank you, guys. I thought all people in Boston were jerks. I mean, you guys are nice. You're actually nice.
I'm not from there, so.
Yeah. All right, everyone. All right. So maybe I should write. All right, this guy can go F himself. You guys have a great weekend. Take care. Thanks.